She was a Caribbean beauty ready for the good life.
She wanted to come to the United States to seek out the American dream.
And he was the man who could make all of her dreams come true.
He was a very attractive guy, and he was in the military.
They appeared to be on a path full of promise until they veered off on a highway to hell.
I called 911. I told him there was a person on my porch that had been carjacked.
She was stabbed multiple times.
It was vicious, violent, bloody.
The crime ignited a murder investigation that plays like a Hollywood horror film.
She was killed in a field like a pig. Her dream had now turned into a Freddy Krueger nightmare.
Jaws drop as detectives uncover a real-life story filled with lust, greed, and betrayal.
I have never seen a case this strange and this weird. You just can't make this up.
Friday, June 5th, 2009, 5:45 a.m. It's a peaceful morning in the town of Crumpton, Maryland, when local resident John Rolfe and his wife Kim are suddenly awoken by a loud noise.
Help!
I heard a knock at the front door. I kicked out the window.
Please! I need to use your phone. Help, please!
I seen this guy standing there. He looked terrible. It looked like he had been beaten pretty bad.
I need to use your phone. Please help. Please.
Sit down, man. Sit down. What happened?
He says he was carjacked. He needs help.
He had a big gash on his arm. It was real deep. He said the guy that had carjacked him went after him with a knife.
I just need help, please.
But the most nightmarish part is still to come. The man says that he isn't the only victim.
My wife's still down there.
John and his wife immediately call 911.
I told him there was a person on my porch that says he'd been carjacked, him and his wife. You need to bring an ambulance and police.
Yeah, he's cut up pretty bad. He's got a big gash on his arm.
He was just shivering uncontrollably. He may fall down or pass out or something. I don't know. I never seen nobody like that.
First responders arrive on the scene within minutes and discover that the man is 28-year-old Ryan Holness. He tells them that he and his wife, Sarika, were carjacked around 11:30 p.m. the night before in New Jersey while en route to Maryland.
I told the two paramedics that Ryan Holness's wife was down in the soybean field. And Ryan said that she wasn't moving.
I'll go check on that if you want to wait here. You want to come with me? Go look for his wife.
They went down there to find her, find out what had happened to her.
Minutes later, the two AMTs return from the nearby field.
I asked him, what's going on over there? Is she all right? And he said, no. That's when I knew it was bad.
But it's much worse than anyone could imagine. Sarika is dead.
She's just lying in the field dead, stabbed multiple times.
The tragic news sends Ryan's world spinning.
When he learned that she was dead, he totally fell apart. He was exceptionally distraught, totally confused.
He was crying. He was bleeding. He was in a state of shock.
As Ryan is taken to the hospital for treatment, it seems impossible to believe that this young couple's future had been altered so tragically. Born in 1982, Sarika Dunkley, or Susie as her friends called her, was raised by her aunt on the island of Jamaica.
I didn't have any child at the time, so I would take the responsibility of sending her to school, buy her books, her uniforms, all of that, until she finished school.
After high school, Sarika landed a job as a cashier in a neighborhood pharmacy. Even though she was quiet and shy, Sarika stood out in a crowd.
She was a very pretty girl, and she did get a lot of attention.
A lot of boys like her. I have friends that like Sarika. When she come over the house, you know, people see her, they like her. Everybody who see her like her. She was one of the prettiest girls that walked this planet.
Sarika might have had her choice of men, but one day in 2003, she reconnected with someone from her past who'd always brought a smile to her face. Childhood friend Ryan Holness.
They were very, very close in Jamaica. They grew up, they were only 2 years apart. And they even went to school together.
I always see Ryan and Sarika hugging each other. They were good friends growing up. Very good friends.
Though Ryan had spent much of his childhood in Jamaica, he immigrated to New York in 2002 and had joined the U.S. Navy.
He was a very attractive guy, and he was in the military.
Ryan is a handsome guy. He's a dark, handsome guy.
After hearing Ryan's stories of his time in America, Sarika was smitten with the idea of living there.
Wherever you go in the world, everybody wants a piece of America. What you see on TV and stuff like that, you always want a piece of that.
You fine?
Yes, I'm fine.
Well,
Between Sarika's dreams of a new life and their obvious attraction to each other, Ryan decided to fast-track their relationship.
will you marry me?
Yes, I will.
Really? Really? Whoa. Wait.
I heard that he went down to Jamaica and he married her in less than 2 weeks.
The wedding was held in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. It was something just quick.
Are you happy?
Yes, I'm very happy. Can you tell?
There had been a ceremony, and it was a little chapel out in the palm trees of Jamaica.
But their whirlwind courtship hit a heartbreaking snag when U.S. officials denied Sarika's request to join Ryan in the U.S.
She went through a hard time with immigration in Jamaica to come here. She went through a rough time.
Although their separation was bittersweet, the couple made the best of the situation.
Their relationship was long distance, but clearly he loved her and cared for her. That's why he married her. They spoke regularly. When he would go back to Jamaica, he would see her.
In 2008, after 5 long years and hundreds of heartbreaking miles apart, U.S. immigration officials finally granted Sarika a visa.
I felt that she had a genuine love for Ryan and that she couldn't wait to see him, and that she trusted him and that he would protect her or be there for her.
Ryan seemed overjoyed by the news, but by that time, he was living with a fellow serviceman in St. Mary's, Maryland.
He was still in the military, so he was on deployment to different countries from time to time.
Until better arrangements could be made, Ryan and Sarika decided she should live with Ryan's mother in Brooklyn.
Sarika was living with me in New York while Ryan was in St. Mary's, Maryland. Ryan and Sarika saw each other whenever Ryan came to visit us in New York.
The best he could do was to go up to New York on weekends and spend time with her. I think she was very happy and as fulfilled as she could be. They were separate, but they were together. They went out together. They had fun together.
Once in the States, Sarika made plans to continue her education. Meanwhile, Ryan's career was taking off. He'd recently been promoted to the rank of Petty Officer Second Class. The couple's future had never looked brighter. Until a road trip toward their new beginning took a nightmarish turn, leaving friends and family completely stunned.
I was devastated, to hear of someone that was a part of the family to have passed and in such a brutal way. It was just unfathomable, to even hear of something like that.
Why would somebody want to kill her? Why would someone want to kill somebody in that way? Why?
For detectives on the case, the more pressing question is who? Who would want to murder a woman like Sarika? Given Ryan's initial statement, all they knew for certain is that the couple had been carjacked in New Jersey and forced to drive to this desolate stretch of roadway.
They ended up in this rural area, very sparsely populated, no lights. He essentially just attacked both of them.
A CSI team scours the field, collecting any physical evidence they can find.
There were tire marks, footprints. They were locating Sarika's purse, her sandals and shoes, scattered in all sorts of locations.
The only thing that appears missing is Ryan's car, a 2007 Honda Accord.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you do an APB for me?
Yes.
07 Honda Accord, 4-door,
After issuing the APB, investigators begin the grim task of examining Sarika's body. Judging from her injuries, it looks like she tried to fight off her assailant until her dying breath.
The condition of Sarika's body was quite tragic. Certain clothing on her was ripped, her nails were chipped, and she had defensive wounds on her hand. The cuts were the result of a struggle.
He's gonna have some wounds on him.
Scratches, good cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Sarika's body had 58 stab wounds.
I can't imagine how she would have felt when she's getting all these stab wounds all over herself, her body. It is horrific.
Police knew the couple had been violently carjacked, but a more ominous question remained. Just who had targeted them, and why? Nothing could prepare them for the horrific and heart-stopping tale they were about to hear.
I've done 200 or so cases, and I have never seen a case this strange and this weird.
Sarika Holness seemed to have it all. The beautiful Jamaican married her close childhood friend, a handsome naval officer, and moved to the United States to begin their life together.
She came here to live the American dream. Sarika really liked America. She always talked about the opportunities. Life is different here.
Help! But that dream turned into a nightmare on the night of June 4th, 2009, when Sarika was stabbed to death in a violent carjacking. Her husband, Ryan, managed to survive the attack.
Family was in a lot of pain and just wanted answers and just couldn't understand how such a sweet and innocent person, life was taken so short.
For the last several hours, police have been trying to fill in the blanks of what exactly happened. After securing the scene and examining Sarika's body, they combed the surrounding field for evidence.
The evidence in the crime scene was quite expansive.
There were some personal property, included Sarika's shoes, her purse, which had been partially emptied.
While the evidence suggested the couple had been the victims of a robbery gone awry, the murder weapon was nowhere to be found, and plenty of questions still remained. For starters, why had Sarika's killer lashed out so violently?
Sarika was stabbed multiple times over her torso and her arms and her legs, up around her neck, on her head. It was brutal.
Not that Ryan had fared much better himself. Rushed to the hospital for treatment, police had yet to obtain his formal statement.
Mr. Holness had a cracked rib and he had injuries to his face and head.
He was also cut with this very large knife, and it looked like a scene from a butcher shop.
Still, after the deadly injuries Sarika sustained, it seems like a miracle Ryan is even alive.
Ryan was a mess. He was in shock, partly, I guess, because of what had happened. It was a very brutal stab wound.
Once he's treated and released from the hospital, Ryan begins by painfully recounting the events of the past 24 hours.
We were enjoying a nice day out, nice night out.
He said it all began around 9:30 p.m. the night before, when he and Sarika left his mother's apartment in New York, bound for Maryland. 2 hours into the trip, they stopped for gas in Cranberry, New Jersey.
After pumping his gas, he realized that, oh, I have to use the restroom.
Hey, I'm running to the restroom. I'll be back.
Okay, I'll be here.
All right.
Sarika is waiting for him to take care of his business. And that's when things start to go awry.
As he headed back to the car, Ryan saw a look of terror in his wife's eyes. Once in the driver's seat, Ryan realized the source of her fear.
He observed a man in his back seat with a ski mask on and a hoodie with a gun up to Sarika's head. She just had a kind of a blank stare on her face.
Don't make a sound. Drive south.
He used some sort of device to change the way his voice sounded. You know, you see it on TV sometimes where they, you know, a guy's holding somebody for ransom and they disguise their voice.
What he's saying is that it's just a robbery. I'm just going to take your belongings and take your car and leave you stranded.
According to Ryan, the gunman continued talking, and what he said gave him even greater cause for alarm.
Ryan said that the carjacker was this vet from Iraq and Afghanistan, someone who had mental problems. He said that the carjacker talked with him during the car ride about the fact that he hated women.
He felt like he had been maybe disrespected by some kind of romantic relationship he was in, and he just had this anger at all women. And he said that this man continued his irrational rantings, and Ryan says in his own mind he knew this was not going to end well.
The conversation continued as Ryan drove south along the eastern seaboard, through Delaware, then into Maryland, before arriving 123 miles later in Crumpton at approximately 1:30 a.m.
He's telling them what he's going to do. I'm going to bound you both. I'm going to take your possession, and I'm going to leave.
He said after driving to this point in Kent County, the person asked him to pull over, and he stopped.
Slowly, get out of the car.
Ryan and Sarika exited the vehicle with the carjacker right behind them.
He put the gun down on the car, and then he bound Ryan with duct tape. Bound his hands, his legs, his mouth.
But as the carjacker restrained him, Sarika suddenly took off running into a nearby field. Ryan claims their attacker quickly caught his wife and threw her to the ground.
Ryan hears Sarika screaming, "He's cutting me. He's stabbing me."
Hearing his wife's screams, Ryan tried to intervene, but with his hands and feet bound with duct tape, there was little he could do. Ryan also tells police the attacker slashed at him with a knife, opening a gash in his arm.
Ryan gets cut deeply, almost down to the bone on his forearm.
Ryan claims that in addition to cutting him, the attacker punched him repeatedly.
The masked gunman punches Ryan in the ribs and all about the face to cause the injuries that he sustained during this altercation.
One final blow, a kick to the head, turned Ryan's world to black.
Ryan Holness said that he was hit in the head and knocked out for several hours.
Regaining consciousness early that morning, Ryan managed to free himself. He found his wife's lifeless body in a nearby field and staggered to the Rolfs farmhouse for help.
We've had murders. We've had some really terrible things happen, rapes and everything else, but we've never had something this bloody happen here.
I tried to help. But I was tied down. I couldn't get loose.
Ryan's statement dovetails with the notion that Sarika's death was the result of a violent carjacking. But before police finished their interview, they asked Ryan if he'd be willing to hand over his clothing to be processed for DNA and other physical evidence. He agrees.
He didn't try to hide anything. He was providing them with whatever details are necessary. He tries to cooperate with the police.
Between Sarika's gruesome injuries and Ryan's description of their crazed assailant, police can't help but wonder if the motive for the crime goes beyond a mere carjacking.
It's just like this man snapped, this crazy guy snapped. And when he saw Sarika run away, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I hate women. That's what the masked gunman said. So when what happens, there's the motive as to why it happened.
While police aren't certain what kind of monster they're dealing with, the fact remains that Sarika's killer is still at large. And until he's brought to justice, local residents will be on pins and needles.
I'm scared to death, not knowing what the heck's going on. I was thinking maybe I should keep a couple knives in my bedroom, just in case.
Thankfully, the next day detectives catch their first break. Ryan's vehicle is located 80 miles away in Washington, D.C.
It was like, okay, they found the car. Now they're going to find some kind of evidence that, who did it.
Investigators seem optimistic as they race to D.C., but when they arrive, any hopes of finding the killer are quickly dashed.
The Honda Accord was found on 8th Street in D.C. near a bus station.
Whoever drove the car over there was able to make a pretty quick and convenient getaway from there, hopped on a bus and was gone.
Detectives scour the area in hopes of tracking down some surveillance footage of the bus stop, but their search comes up empty. It appears their only suspect has vanished without a trace. And as police continue hunting for Sarika's killer, the story would only grow more mysterious. In fact, police were about to uncover a dirty little secret about Sarika and Ryan, a secret so explosive it might have cost Sarika her life. 26-year-old Jamaican-born Sarika Holness moved to the U.S. to be with her loving husband Ryan and live the American dream.
She was very happy. They were looking for a better life and a future together.
But on June 5th, 2009, their 6-year marriage came to a bizarre and gruesome ending.
Don't make a sound. Drive south.
Her dream had now turned into like a Freddy Krueger nightmare. That's what happened to her. Nightmare.
According to Ryan, a carjacker attacked the couple, beating him unconscious, then stabbing Sarika to death. 24 hours into the investigation, detectives catch a break. Ryan's stolen vehicle has been located 80 miles away in Washington, D.C.
The car was located in a part of D.C. that was near the bus station. They canvassed the area. They tried to get the videos, try to figure out what happened.
But their search comes up empty. Investigators then hand the vehicle over to their CSI team.
They go over the car with a fine-tooth comb. All those things are collected, tagged, and bagged to connect the dots to the perpetrator.
While detectives wait for the lab results, they reach out to the gas station in New Jersey where the carjacking allegedly took place.
Can you run it from last night, late?
Pouring through the footage, they are able to identify Ryan's car.
Right there. That's the car.
We could see that the car pulled up, but we couldn't see anything else to determine what happened. The surveillance was inconclusive.
For detectives, it's a dead end.
Are there any more cameras that show the pumps or any more angles that shows the pumps a little bit better?
No, these are the only ones covering the pumps.
With their investigation at an impasse, police decide to retrace their steps. They start by re-examining the killer's alleged motive.
If it's a robbery, money, cash, jewelry, those are the things you're going to take.
But an inventory of personal items recovered at the crime scene suggests nothing appears missing.
Mrs. Holness's wallet was there, still zippered up. Inside there was money, her credit card, her cell phone was there. So there wasn't any evidence that anything had been taken other than the car.
And the couple's most valuable material possession, Ryan's car, had been abandoned at a bus station.
Why would a carjacker take a car to a bus station? He has the keys, he has the car.
Unable to answer that question, detectives begin to ponder a new and more chilling theory. Perhaps this wasn't a robbery after all, but rather a crime meant to look like one. Could Sarika have been the real target all along? That might explain why Ryan was left alive.
I couldn't imagine anybody hurting Sarika in any form, knowing the kind of person she was. She loved fun. She's just a fun person.
It was a mystery. Why would anyone want to kill Susie?
While her family seems at a loss for a motive, they do reveal one startling secret about Ryan and Sarika's relationship. A secret that leaves detectives speechless.
Ryan and Sarika are second cousins.
She married him without the family approval. And once they found out, it just totally tore the family apart. It wasn't a good match.
We were against the marriage because we know it is not right. So she didn't have anything to do with us. She cut off this side of the damn family completely.
I didn't know what was going on between them. I saw them as kids hugging each other knowing they were cousins.
But as much as their family disapproved of their holy matrimony, one thing soon becomes very clear to police. This marriage wasn't motivated purely by love.
It was a marriage of convenience. It was just to get married so that she could get her papers.
She married him for her to have a better life in the United States.
A fact Sarika didn't exactly flaunt, especially to U.S. immigration officials.
She's very secretive. She didn't want anybody to know that.
She was in pursuit of the American dream. She came to America. Ryan was her ticket.
But it wasn't just Sarika who kept the true nature of her relationship with Ryan a secret. Ryan also kept the truth of the marriage under wraps from his numerous girlfriends.
We learned that Ryan had multiple girlfriends in Maryland, girlfriends in New York.
For detectives, any one of Ryan's girlfriends could be a potential suspect.
It could have been a woman. Mr. Holness was portrayed as somewhat of a womanizer. We know we all do crazy things for love and romance.
As investigators dig deeper into the case, they will unearth a trove of sordid secrets, including the shocking revelation that the twisted depths of this relationship run much deeper than anyone could ever imagine. Detectives in Maryland are more puzzled than ever by the stabbing death of 26-year-old Sarika Holness. Based on information provided by her husband Ryan,
Drive south.
Police initially believed Sarika had died during a botched carjacking. But within hours of discovering Sarika's body, the investigation shifts gears. Detectives have just learned strange new details about Ryan and Sarika's marriage.
They were from the same family tree. It was cousins.
It was a marriage of convenience. It was his cousin. He just wanted to help her to come to the U.S.
Investigators have also discovered that Sarika wasn't the only woman in Ryan's life.
We know he had other girlfriends, and it seems a bit strange to have so many different girlfriends.
In light of the startling turn of events, police decide to bring Ryan in for another round of questioning.
Ron, tell me about Sarika, about your relationship with her.
Ryan admits their relationship is a little unorthodox, but he claims they both benefited from the arrangement.
It was just perhaps a different kind of a marriage and relationship than we might expect in the traditional sense of the word.
But what about the other women? According to Ryan, they were no secret to Sarika.
So she knew about your other women?
Of course. She knew about all of them.
It was an open relationship, and he felt comfortable in that kind of relationship. He believed that she was the kind of person that was accepting of that same relationship.
Ryan had no intentions of divorcing Sarika. Ryan was doing just fine being married to Sarika and having one or more girlfriends to boot.
Still, police are curious if Sarika truly embraced the idea of an open marriage. But according to Ryan, he wasn't the only one in the relationship with a lover on the side.
She lived for a few years in Jamaica, even after they were married. And she had some kind of a male friend.
Police contact Sarika's family to corroborate Ryan's story. Sarika's family confirms she indeed had a boyfriend in Jamaica named Junior Powell.
Even though she was married to Ryan, Sarika was Junior's girl.
According to her family, Junior helped fill a gap in Sarika's life after she and Ryan married, but were forced to live in separate countries until immigration officials gave Sarika clearance to immigrate to the U.S. Sarika's family tells detectives that while Junior was head over heels for Sarika, he wasn't exactly thrilled with her marriage to Ryan.
I talked to him about that. It's not something that he was happy with.
Could her marriage to Ryan have finally pushed Junior to the brink? That theory seemed possible until police contact authorities in Jamaica. Turns out, Junior was in the Caribbean at the time of the murder. But if detectives can eliminate Sarika's lover as a suspect, then who committed this vicious crime? A search of Ryan's phone records reveals one possible clue.
Police were able to intercept text messages that he was getting from a woman the night of the murder.
The number is registered to a woman in Virginia Beach by the name of Deidre Williams. When police question Deidre, she admits that she and Ryan have been dating for the past 8 months.
Did you text Ryan the night that Sarika got murdered?
Yeah, we text a few times when he was leaving from New York.
But detectives are shocked when Deidre reveals the nature of their conversation.
Ryan text message to say that he's going to initiate a divorce from Sarika.
Her testimony was inconsistent with Ryan's story.
A review of the actual text messages shows that Deidre is telling the truth. Why did Ryan lie to police when they asked if he was happy with his marriage to Sarika? Detectives begin questioning Ryan's account of the attack.
Ryan Holness says he woke up after being knocked out and went straight to the home of a resident that was nearby.
Looking to verify his story, police call a canine unit to the scene.
Canine sniffed some of Ryan's clothing and he tracked exactly where Ryan went.
Locking onto a scent, the dogs don't lead handlers directly to the farmhouse where Ryan called 911.
Reckon he's picking up something we didn't see?
I don't know.
Rather, they take police in the opposite direction, to two locations Ryan never mentioned, a mobile home and a bridge over a nearby river.
Did he mention anything about going anywhere else?
Not to my knowledge, he didn't.
I don't think he did.
Mr. Holness' scent was traced down to a river that he said he never went to. That can't happen, or the hound wouldn't have followed it. So he had to have gone to that river.
I guess we'll have to ask Ryan some more questions.
Contacting the owner of the mobile home, police soon make another startling discovery.
Around 3:30 in the morning, there was a knock on her front door and a knock on her rear door. No one answered the door, and there was duct tape found in her yard. This is the time when Mr. Ryan Holness should have been unconscious. There was a lot of unanswered questions from the state police on that day, which now makes them think there's more to the story that's being told.
The story just didn't seem to add up. It just seemed to be a lot of holes in the story.
But police could never imagine just how twisted this sordid story was about to get, or the unspeakable evil that had forever severed two lives. The investigation into Sarika Holness's murder is getting more bizarre by the hour. Sarika was stabbed to death on a deserted road near the farming community of Crumpton, Maryland. But the investigation has revealed that Sarika and her husband Ryan were both having affairs, and that they were cousins.
You just can't make this up. Don't make a sound.
Initially, police believed Sarika had died during a botched carjacking. But 24 hours into the case, the evidence is starting to point detectives in a new direction.
Ryan's story and the evidence, they're not matching up.
In fact, a canine search of the crime scene has placed Ryan at a bridge and then a mobile home shortly after the murder.
The forensics show that he was not in the location where he said he was. The duct tape that was around him had been scattered all throughout the field, including at houses and locations where he said he never went.
All this happened and he was supposed to be unconscious. It's not connecting.
And with the murder weapon nowhere to be found, detectives wonder if Ryan's trip to the bridge had a nefarious motive.
This is close to a river where you can discard the knife.
With circumstantial evidence mounting, police execute a search warrant of the townhouse in Maryland Ryan still shared with a friend.
Ryan was using his roommate's computer. So we talked with the roommate and we actually got the computer.
Found anything?
Yes, actually I have.
As a cybercrime unit examines the computer, they notice Ryan filed a fraudulent transaction.
He was masquerading in the name of Sarika Holness online. And he got a $500,000 life insurance policy. It would double to $1 million depending on how the death happened. And he put himself as the beneficiary of this life insurance policy.
That's a motive.
But a forensic analysis of the computer's hard drive also reveals something else.
Looks like he's been searching a lot of metro bus stations in D.C.
Ryan Holness had actually Googled the location that this car ended up being. And he Googled this several weeks before.
Good work. Appreciate it. Save that for us.
For detectives, this evidence suggests one thing and one thing only.
Premeditation. Someone had a plan and they were putting all the pieces in place before they initiated.
We know greed motivated this because Ryan Holness fraudulently obtained these life insurance policies in Sarika's name, making himself the sole beneficiary. We know he had other girlfriends and he made commitments to those girlfriends.
Their theory is that Ryan wanted out of the marriage because maybe he wanted to have a marriage with somebody else.
But investigators have a problem. Ryan couldn't have pulled this off by himself.
We know that Ryan Holness had an accomplice, and we know that accomplice helped him in terms of taking the car away to Washington, D.C.
We don't know who it was. We don't know to the extent of what that help was, and I think we're never going to know.
Even without a positive ID on this alleged mystery accomplice, police decide to push forward with charges.
All right, stand up. For what? You're under arrest. For what? For murder.
I didn't do anything. The news leaves more than a few people stunned.
Man, this is stupid.
To tell you the truth, my reaction was that he was innocent because the way he acted, his demeanor and everything, I would have bet my life that he was innocent.
I believe in Ryan's innocence because I know he didn't do it. He told me he didn't do it. He said he couldn't do that. Ryan is not the type of person. He's not a violent type.
On March 14, 2011, Ryan Holness is led into a Baltimore courtroom to stand trial for the death of his wife, Sarika.
What I was concerned about was the family members and making sure that justice was done for them.
Prosecutors opened by laying out the government's case, contending that on the night of June 4, 2009, Ryan Holness drove Sarika to a field in Crumpton, Maryland, where he stabbed her 58 times. After the murder, Ryan scattered his and Sarika's belongings and then inflicted a knife wound to create the illusion of a violent carjacking. While Ryan's mystery accomplice drove his car to D.C., Ryan disposed of the murder weapon.
We believe very strongly that Ryan Holness went to the bridge and threw that knife in the river.
According to prosecutors, Ryan then went to the mobile home, but when nobody answered, he headed to the Rolfe residence where they called 911.
It sounds strange. It sounds unbelievable, but this is how he killed his wife. This is how he murdered a woman who was innocent, had no involvement whatsoever.
It was cousins. They played together, went to school together. She believed that he loved her, and it cost her dearly.
Prosecutors explained to jurors the motive behind this unthinkable crime. Sarika was worth more to Ryan dead than alive.
It really just boiled down to greed. It was greed to get the $1 million in insurance money.
After laying out the motive, prosecutors hammer away at the discrepancy between Ryan's version of events and the evidence revealed during the subsequent canine search.
Maryland State Police in Kent County, they're all trained very well in collecting evidence. One of the best things they did was to bring the canine unit there. The canine dog followed Ryan Holness' scent to the bridge. It was very clear that his story was just not adding up.
Ryan's attorneys agree that their client's story isn't entirely consistent, but they assert it has nothing to do with dishonesty or murder.
If I'd been carjacked, I'm stabbed, and I'm knocked unconscious, if that had happened to me, I can assure you the following morning, I'd have been very confused on the exact sequence of events and where I'd actually traveled.
The defense claims that's why Ryan never told police about his trip to the bridge or to the mobile home. On the heels of a violent attack that left him dazed and confused, Ryan simply forgot. But as prosecutors point out, if Ryan had truly survived such a brutal assault, medical records would support that claim.
Ryan Holness said that he was knocked out for several hours. Well, the doctor said there was no physical evidence that he sustained any injury to be knocked out for that amount of time. He had a cut, but the cut seemed self-inflicted. It was not multiple cuts like Sarika had all over her body. It was like someone had just slashed his arm so that there could appear to be a cut.
Prosecutors then lay out the laundry list of evidence they believe confirms Ryan had been plotting to murder Sarika, his affairs, the damning phone and computer records, and the $1 million insurance policy Ryan took out on Sarika's life. But Ryan's defense team counters that their client's actions weren't that unusual in light of other policies Ryan and Sarika had recently obtained.
She was on other policies of Ryan's as well that even predated this insurance policy.
The defense's argument makes sense, but they have a much harder time refuting the forensic evidence recovered from both Sarika's body and Ryan's clothing.
Police did a lot of forensic analysis of Sarika, and they found she had chipped fingernails and chipped toenail polish, and they found some of those chipped particles on Ryan's clothing.
The evidence suggests a struggle took place between Ryan and Sarika around the time of her death. It seems like a crushing blow to Ryan's defense, but his attorneys quickly turned the tables.
They knew it was another person. There's a third person out there.
There was blood inside the vehicle, which did not match Ryan's blood, nor did it match Sarika's blood. And that third person's blood was on the gear shift, it was on the seat, and it was on the door of the front seat.
The defense argues this is proof that Ryan has been telling the truth all along, that they were the victims of a violent carjacking, and that Sarika's killer is still at large.
We provided every reasonable explanation to that jury that he was an innocent person and that the real killer was still out there. And he's the person that should be tried.
But prosecutors still have one more witness to call. And what he was about to say would not only rock the courtroom, but could very well make or break the case. Charged with the death of his wife and second cousin, Sarika, the trial of 30-year-old Ryan Holness is rapidly drawing to a close. Ryan's attorneys have argued a DNA sample recovered inside the Holness's vehicle is proof that an unidentified carjacker murdered Sarika. But prosecutors argue otherwise and call a surprise witness to the stand. Ryan's cellmate in the Kent County Jail, Stephen McGrath.
His cellmate was able to get information from Ryan Holness that was supportive of the investigation.
According to McGrath, Ryan asked for his help drafting a letter in the voice of the carjacker, a letter designed as a ruse to divert suspicion away from himself.
He was writing it to the Washington Post. Dear Washington Post, I am the real killer. I killed Sarika Holness. I did this. I did that. He wanted to give the confession letter to his cellmate, who was getting out of jail soon. And his cellmate was supposed to rewrite the confession letter, and then they were going to send the confession letter to the Washington Post.
McGrath testifies that Ryan needed his help to ensure the letter could never be traced directly back to him. But instead of sending the letter to the newspaper, McGrath turned it over to the police. The details were telling.
The information that was in the letter could only have been provided by the perpetrator.
A copy of the letter is shown to jurors, and its authenticity verified.
They brought in a handwriting expert to look at the letter that was written, and it was confirmed that it was Ryan Holness' handwriting.
With the confession letter in mind, the jury breaks for deliberation. Sarika's family anxiously awaits their decision.
I say to myself, Ryan, if you're guilty, if you are the one who really killed Susie or be a part of the persons who killed Susie, whatever you get, deserve it.
On March 28, 2011, the jury returns with a verdict. Guilty.
We're all broken. Sometimes I think of it as if I'm watching a soap opera or a movie. That's how I look at it. I don't think it's for real.
But Sarika's family is relieved.
They were overjoyed. They were ecstatic. They had been living with this nightmare for months and months. So to have the jury come back and determine that he's guilty on all counts was important to them.
Some people thought he was just going to get 30 years. I said, no, he's gone for good.
2 months later, the judge issues Ryan's punishment, life in prison. The sentence was the final chapter in this tragic love story tainted by scandal and greed. Sarika was so enchanted with the idea of being married and living a better life in America that she couldn't see the evil lurking in the heart of the man who promised to make those dreams come true.
He's a killer. I mean, he's just a killer. And there's no need to sugarcoat it or to say otherwise. He devised an elaborate scheme to kill his wife, to obtain $1 million in insurance money. And what would motivate someone to do that is just beyond me.